All right, let's talk about making presentations. Today, we're going to dive into how you can use Google's Gemini AI to totally supercharge the way you build, tweak, and just perfect your Google Slides.
Oh, you know this feeling. We've all been here, right? Staring at the blank, untitled presentation. You can almost feel that little bit of panic creeping in, wondering where you're even supposed to start. It's that classic blank slide problem, and man, it can kill a great idea before it even gets going.
But what if you didn't have to start alone? What if you had a co-pilot, an assistant that could grab your scattered thoughts, or your rough notes, or even a finished document and just, poof, turn it into a full-on presentation? Well, that's exactly the promise of using Gemini with Google Slides. Okay, so let's get into it. The thing is, using Gemini for Slides isn't just about clicking one single magic button. You have to understand that Gemini actually plays two totally different roles depending on what you're trying to do. Think of it this way. On one hand, you've got the architect. This is who you call when you're starting from scratch, to build the whole structure. And then you have the assistant, who works right alongside you inside a deck you've already started, handling all the little details. Knowing which one to call on, that's the secret sauce. All right, first up, let's talk about the architect. This is your go-to when all you've got is an idea, maybe a document or a quick brief, but not a single slide to your name. And here it is, probably the single most important thing to remember about the architect. You don't start in Google Slides. Nope. This whole creation process happens over in the main Gemini web app. This is a super common point of confusion, so really lock this one in. And the process itself, it's honestly kind of mind-blowing. In the Gemini app, you hit Canvas and just give it a prompt. It can be super simple, like make a lesson about the Roman Republic, or you can get complex and upload a whole research paper. And then Gemini just does all the heavy lifting. It spits out a complete multi-slide presentation, which you can then send right over to Google Slides for your final touches. Now, this comment from a user on Reddit, it just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly shows why it's so critical to use the architect for building new decks. See, the tool that's inside Slides, which we'll get to in a minute, it's just not built for that. Trying to make it build a whole deck from scratch will just lead to frustration, because that's not its job. Okay, so that's the architect. Now let's switch gears and talk about its partner, the assistant. This is your little helper that lives right inside Google Slides, ready to jump in and help when you're already in the middle of working on something. To get to it, you just look for that Ask Gemini button, usually up in the top right of your Slides window. You give that a click, and this side panel slides out with a whole bunch of tools designed to help you refine and improve the deck you're already in. So what can it do? A whole bunch of cool stuff, actually. It can generate custom images right on the spot. It can rewrite your text to be shorter or punchier. It can summarize your entire deck for you. It can even create a brand new single slide based on a quick prompt. You can even pull in info from your other Google Drive files just by using the @ symbol. Okay, let's get real for a second. We've all made this slide. I know I have. The dreaded wall of text. It's dense, it's hard to read, and it's basically where audience engagement goes to die. Well, this is exactly where the assistant becomes your best friend. So there's this great little feature called Refine Text. All you do is select that block of text, and then you can ask Gemini to automatically rephrase it, shorten it, make it sound more professional, or, my personal favorite, just turn the whole thing into bullet points. And look at this. Bam! With just a couple of clicks, that intimidating paragraph is transformed into these clear, scannable bullet points. It's all the same information, but now it's a million times more digestible for your audience. What a difference. All right, here's a critical pro tip for you, so listen up. That conversation you're having with the Gemini assistant in the side panel, it's not saved. If you refresh the page or close the presentation, poof, that chat history is gone forever. So if Gemini gives you something you like, make sure you insert it into your slide right then and there. So it really all comes down to this, knowing which tool to use and when to use it. Let's just break it down one last time to make it absolutely crystal clear. This table really sums it all up, doesn't it? If your goal is to make a brand new presentation from scratch, you're using the architect, and you're doing it in the Gemini web app. For pretty much everything else, fixing text, making an image, summarizing your deck, you're using the assistant right there inside Google Slides. It's that simple. So how do you get access to all this? Well, these features are part of a Google Workspace plan that has a Gemini add-on. For example, the Gemini Business Plan unlocks these capabilities for about $20 per user per month. See, once you understand how to use both the architect and the assistant, you're not just making slides faster. I mean, that's cool, but it's bigger than that. You're fundamentally changing how you can bring your ideas to life. So the real question is, when you have an AI copilot that can handle all the heavy lifting, where are your ideas going to go next?